good morning, community. How are you? Good afternoon to the East Coast. How are you? Really, I think I've been away from you for almost a week. I hopped on this past Tuesday to at least reignite the process. And then I said I'd be here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And before I knew it, there was Wednesday. I was like, I'm not ready yet. And even though today I thought, oh, you're not ready, start on Monday. I always like to start things on Mondays. I am a stickler for keeping as closely to the word that I give. And so I thought, okay, let's hop on right quick. So whenever you see this, know that I'm always thinking of you, trusting that you and yours are safe, that you are probably mastering some skills that you may not have had to use. And one of the biggest things that came to mind for me today was the skill of cultivating, activating, standing on, leaning on, and trusting your faith. Trusting your faith. And I had this book that I wrote some time ago called Faith the Size of a Mustard Seed, my first book. And they're really like 1 or 2 page stories where we get ourselves into situations and how we learn and grow from them, or how God, life, and the universe uses them to help us grow. And if the times that we're going through right now are not a call for us to stand on and in our faith, I don't know what is. To have faith just the size of a mustard seed. And oftentimes when we look at circumstances, we don't think of it around faith. We don't think of it except for what's being presented to us. You know, today we're presented with fires. I have a picture of the sun and it's completely orange. We're presented with climate change. We are sitting in smoke. It's just sitting on top of us. We're in the middle of racial tension and truly the breaking down of structures and principles and potential ways that people think in their mindset is all being broken down while we go through this process. Do you trust the government? Do you not trust the government? Do you even trust yourself and the choices you're making? The housing issues. People are homeless. Jobs. People don't have jobs. They're not getting jobs. They're not returning to work. Our students aren't in school. And in the midst of this, it can seem so big, like it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more and more and more. And it's easy to say, when is it going to stop, or when is it going to end? So I felt like I need to just hop on here today and remind you that you do have the power within you to be okay in the midst of this. And I know that okay looks different for different people, because some people are struggling whether or not they're going to be evicted. And I'm not sure that landlords are kicking people out, but maybe they are. You know, where's your next meal going to come from? Where's the food going to come from for the babies or for the families? All of that, to me, is a push for us to explore our faith. And it's a push to look at and look for something greater within ourselves, something greater within each other. To really know that there's something bigger than all of this that we can rely on, to rely on something greater. And I wrote that here in the book. It says, a call to seek something greater than oneself, to seek reliance on something greater than one's own willpower. Because some of this willpower isn't strong enough. At some point, you're just like exhausted. You're like, okay, all right already. When is it going to end? And it's not. It's like when you're mixing a cake and you have to stir it and stir it and stir it and make sure all the ingredients are mixed together very well. It's not going to stop. The conversation around the 1619 Project, the conversation of whether America really started on the 4th of July, or why isn't America saying it started when it first enslaved people and brought them here to build this country. It's not going to stop. It is so clear that this is a part of what was supposed to happen at this time on the planet. So I want you to really look at, what do you define as your faith? What does it mean for you to have faith? Because I look at all these situations as a wake-up call. You have to find something that's bigger than the president, bigger than elections, bigger than the virus, bigger than the fires, bigger than the loss of property, bigger than the fights, something bigger that you can hold on to, you can lean on, and that you can trust. Oftentimes, our wake up calls might be prompted by waking up again and not knowing where you are. Or you wake up and you're not sure of what's happening in your life or the decisions that you've made. The call overall for all of us is to look within. We've gotten so accustomed and trained by the mechanisms of this country to look outside for the answers and think they have the answer. We're going to find it over there. But I almost want to say, if another structure crumbles in this country, the call is to look within. Is to change within, to really connect to the fact that part of what's happening out here is governed by what's happening in here with us. If there's more fear, if there's more trepidation, if there's more worry, it's like the planet just heats up with our energies versus when we can find a place to be centered in the midst of the storm, where we can trust and know that in spite of how it looks, it's still going to be okay. I always use that simple example of having a yard sale, and I just avoid them. As soon as I look in the garage, I'm like, oh no. But you got to pull everything out. You have to disrupt everything. It's a mess in there. And that's the way the world can seem right now. And you put everything out to look at it, and that's what we're being called to do. Put everything out. Put the housing out. Put the racial issues out. Put the discrimination out. Put the laws out. Put the lies out. Put everything out for you to see it. And it gets overwhelming. Because there's so much that we didn't know, don't know, we're understanding, we're really getting a clear sense of. And then there's still a whole lot that we still don't know. Because there's so many layers to it. But it still remains a call for us to change within. That's what I believe when I think of faith, is a call to transform from within. That's why we're home. Because see, I was saying to my son the other day, what are we missing? We're missing football. We're missing basketball. We're missing going to the clubs. We're missing dancing. We're missing, I can't say being drunk because you can get drunk at home, but going to the clubs. We're missing going to the movies. We're missing going to the amusement parks. We're missing all of the things that distract us from what's happening in life. How many times when things are going on, you say, okay, come on, guys, my girls, let's go get something to drink. And you go hang out at the club all night. Or you drink and laugh and talk so you can forget about it, go to sleep, get up the next day and deal with it. But we don't have that option. We have been stopped dead in our tracks to turn within, to look at each other, to look in the mirror in our own eyes and see what we see within ourselves. And as we do that, we make a change out here in the world. Is to turn away from the world out here and step inside to our inner cocoon, step inside to our inner wisdom, step inside and allow the transformation and a rebirth to happen within each of us. And that's why we're so uncomfortable. The moment we get to seem like we're just a little comfortable, a fire starts. Then another fire starts. Then they've got to turn it over there. And they've got this over here. And other people are unemployed. The universe is not going to let us be comfortable right now. And for us to realize that the way we feel right now is our comfortable. But it's a call for us to look at the level of our faith and our reliance on something bigger than us. We relied on the government to tell us what to do and to set up our work schedule and where to go and who we could do. But we don't have that now. We are the ones who are truly the masters of our ship each and every day. And so this Friday is simply a recognition for you to realize it's just about your faith. A call to faith is what led to my spiritual awakening. I wrote here that a call to faith led to my spiritual awakening, which I later realized was the call to begin my journey of walking the spiritual path. It was the pushing forth and the cleansing myself of one way of being in the world to embrace another way. And that's what we're being called to do. We're being called to look at being in this world in a different way, connected to each other, aware of each other, not just bumping up against each other and looking at the color of our skin and the outside of us and letting that define us. No, we're being called and pushed into embracing a new world, a different way of being. And it is uncomfortable. And for many people, it may be somewhat scary because having a routine makes us feel like we know what's going on and we know we're in control. Because a routine says you do this, 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 and you can say, ooh, okay, I got my day accomplished. I'm doing good. But when we're in the midst of transformation, when we're in the midst of stepping into our faith and cultivating a greater faith, that only comes from being uncomfortable. That only comes from finally saying, okay, I can't do it myself. Help, please help. And then trusting that help and then following the guidance from that help. The call to faith was for me to accept the promise made to God wholeheartedly and to trust it. Because I had made a promise to God years and years and years ago that if God removed me from using the drugs that I was doing at that point, that I would do whatever God wanted me to do. Hey, Kat, how you doing? How you doing with all this smoke? So that was my call to step into faith and then to trust. Faith is about trusting what you can't see. You still have to trust it and rely on something bigger than all of us. Because the trees have burnt before. We've had fires before. We just don't seem to learn from our fires. It's like the phoenix. Amazing things can come out of the fire when we're aware and prepared and we don't resist it. So we've been shut down. I think it's amazing. And I really think man didn't do all this. This happened on a higher plane to shut us down from all that external, getting involved with other people to solely turn within and cultivate our faith. So what does that look like, huh? How do we cultivate faith? Wow, that's a good one, right? Because faith says you're going to believe in what you can't see. So you have to believe that there's something bigger than you taking care of you. You did a bike ride this morning? Oh, good. Smoke is sitting on top of us. I walked my 4 miles yesterday, but when I went out there today, it was just, I was breathing it in. So I thought, oh, you can stay in. I got Kat's CD that I can do this morning, or DVD I can do this morning. And maybe by tomorrow, it'll be a little bit better. So that's what I believe we're being called to do, is to step into our faith, to trust and believe no matter what's going on, no matter how much is bombarding you. It constantly seems like there's something new every single day, right? But that you can stand in your faith, that there's a power that's breathing your breath, there's a power that's beating your heart, and there's a power that's going to take care of every single person that needs to be taken care of. And the more we're willing to, here we go, release thinking we're in control, the more we won't be in such resistance, and the more we won't be so frustrated. Just let it be. So this Friday isn't any different than any other Friday. Take a breath. This is like, I think, the 3rd or 4th week of school. Kat's on here. She's doing geometry. Ian's finally doing geometry, and we're almost complete with it. And then that's a summer school program that was online. So once that's gone, then we'll only be dealing with school. Unfortunately or fortunately, my child has no problem staying in the house. He does not want to go out. He doesn't want to see it. He doesn't want to smell it. He doesn't want to be around it. But his school is having picture day. But now I can't even tell you to go outside to have fun. I just have to say be mindful. But notice the focus still is inside. The focus is inside. It's really inside. One of the best news that I found where I am is Channel 1. Channel 1 gives me everything without all the other rhetoric and stuff on it. Yeah, you've got your first grading period ending. Good thing. I need to check on ours because I don't know if ours is ending or not yet. But I know we've got to do pictures next week. And wow, it's been first grading period. What is that, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? See, this is going to go real fast. That's the other thing. Life and everything is shifting and moving really, really fast, which is another reason why we have to get clear on where our faith is, anchor our faith, and then stand on our faith and live from that. And know that it includes everybody. This right here on this planet has not left anybody out. From the newborn babies to the 80 and 90-year-olds, we are truly all in this together. And again, faith is going to cultivate from the inside out. Look to your faith, what you believe in, what you rely on. Remember, there's still some things that are happening that we are not in control of. The sun comes up. The sky is still up there. The ocean's still out there. The seasons, my trees are changing. The nuts were falling out of my tree like crazy yesterday. I thought squirrels were throwing them at me. The seasons are shifting and changing. There is a power and a presence that has not shifted in the midst of all the storms that we seem to be in. So you want to trust that, nurture that. Read what fulfills you. Read what inspires you. Read to nurture you from the inside out. So you keep putting one foot in front of the other. In the meantime, my neighbor across the street packed up, said they're going out of town for 3 or 4 days to get some fresh air. If you can get out of town for 3 or 4 days to get some fresh air with the kids, get out of town. Get some fresh air. I don't know what your beaches are like, so I can't even say if you go to the beach, there may be cleaner air there. But make sure that this Saturday and Sunday, you're doing what fulfills you, what makes you laugh, what brings you joy. Faith is not about walking around with your head hung down saying, woe is me, I don't know what I'm going to do. Faith is standing strong, knowing that in spite of the way it looks, I still know everything's going to turn out okay. In spite of what's happening, I still know everything's going to turn out okay. Absolutely. God is painting new pictures of the sky in every moment. That picture of that red sun that I had, I ran outside. I had to throw on my robe. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? Pay attention to see what's still unfolding, still what's coming. And remember, take that deep breath. You still get to breathe. So then you're still in the game. So that means you still got to play hard or go home. So it's Friday. Go have a good time. Go laugh with the kids. Go turn off the news. Look at some funny movies. Go look at some of the movie series. I looked at BET one night and I saw movie after movie and cracked up. There's enough streaming on TV for children to have plenty to look at. Nurture yourself. Get you a nice bubble bath or a nice cup of coffee or whatever it is you like. Nice cigar, whatever it is you like. Nurture this so then you're ready for the next go round. Because it is not going to stop. If anything, this is going to speed up. As we get closer to the election, it's going to speed up. So, you know, my coach used to say, put your big girl panties on. Trust in what you cannot see to know that it will hold you, it will guide you, it will support you. Ask for what you need from the universe. Then look for the answers. And you must then take the actions. Don't ask and ask and ask, and then the answer comes, and you're like, well, I don't know if I want to do that. I'm not sure about that. No, you ask, you look, and then you take the actions. You don't second guess God, life, in the universe. Just the fact that the planet hasn't exploded says somebody's taking care of us or something's happening the way it's supposed to. I like what Kat said. Remember that song? You guys remember that? Ride, Sally, ride? That's it. Put your seatbelt on and go for a ride. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, I don't care if there's a conspiracy or not a conspiracy. It's not going to hurt anybody to put on a doggone mask. Right? I think I told you about the story I was reading from other countries looking in on the United States. And one country, I can't remember where they were, but he was saying it was like they were in a sailboat. And their boat was rocky and rough, and they were having a difficult time, and they were trying to figure things out in their country. So you have this little sailboat. And then here comes the monumental cruise ship of the United States of America. And he's like, oh my God, look at the cruise ship. And then he looks, he's like, oh my God, the cruise ship is on fire. Oh my God, and everybody's fighting on every deck of the ship. He said when he turned back and he looked at the little sailboat, they like problems they're having in their country. He's like, okay, well, I guess what we got going on isn't too bad, because they always looked at us with such pride. They always looked up to us, and this is a place where you come, and the land of the free, and you can win, opportunities are here. And they're like, I think I'll stay where I am, because obviously the United States of America is having some problems. So other people are looking at us wondering what the heck is going on. And they can't imagine that people won't wear masks. But, you know, we're Americans, and we have our freedom, so we get to do whatever we want to. Put all that aside and just ride it just like you would a wave. There's this wonderful movie called Surf's Up, I think it is. It's a kid's movie, but it talks to you metaphysically about how to ride the waves of life and how things come. And you have to just be willing to ride it. Don't resist it. Don't argue. Sometimes when they get caught and they come off their boards from riding the surf and they go under and they're tossed under, they just relax and ride with that until it brings them up. See, oftentimes we want to struggle, we want to fight, we want to be mad. No, just ride it. Just ride this wave with the least resistance that you can, and you'll find yourself on the other side. So it's Friday. I can't say I'm gonna go outside and do anything. I may water. I'm just gonna do everything in the house. So let the kids do everything in the house. Let the house be a mess. Let the dishes not be washed. Just have a good time in the house for now if you're in the smoke areas like we are. If you're not in New York, you guys are doing good. I just saw you on the news. It was sunny, it was clear. Go have a great weekend if you're in New York. You're in Baltimore, you're back east somewhere, and you're not down low where they were having the water and the floods. Go out there and enjoy the day as if it were your last, because you really don't know, right? Yes. So take good care. I know I said I was going to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I did that on Tuesday. When I woke up, it was Wednesday. I was like, oh my God, it's too soon. But I wanted to at least get here today. I will be on next week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, though. Take good care. I love being in the waves. I do. The only reason I'd want to get on the plane is to go somewhere to get in somebody's water. That's the only reason I ever want to get on the plane, except for to go speak. But And I may drive up to Santa Barbara, San Clemente, or something like that, because we only have to drive so far, and then there's no smoke. So ride the waves, have fun, take good care. Know that faith is from the inside out. So get yourself anchored in here by what you know. There's some things you do know. Something's breathing your breath. You know that. And live from that truth as we go through this. And then have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. Take good care. Bye for now. See you, cat. I'm going to go put my DVD in.